Yo, what's up everyone? We'll get started in just a few minutes. Today will be a fun live stream. They're always fun, every live stream. Hope everyone is doing well. And yeah, we'll just get started shortly. Alright, so let's get started. Welcome everyone to today's live stream. My name is John from WebDev for You. I do these live streams every Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central. And we go over everything Webflow, to building entire websites in Webflow, checking out different style systems, and building different layouts in Webflow. We also go over animations and interactions and how to add scripts to Webflow, kind of using custom code. And if you need help with your personal site, I also provide help via the super chat feature in YouTube. So if you have a personal project you need help with, you can just drop a super chat and I'll be happy to help. Alright, so continuing with the theme from last week and yesterday, we're going to continue building with the client-first system. So I'm going to build today and tomorrow, and let me bring up the agenda actually. This will be helpful. So today's agenda, we're going to continue building the site with the client-first style system, and this is going to be from 12 to 12:30, and then from 12:30 to 12:40 I'll field any questions about the build, and then from 12:40 to 1 we'll have a general Webflow discussion, and I'll field any super chats. Alright, so let's get into it. So we're building out this Figma file in Webflow, and apologies for the dog in the background, he's kind of barking a bit. So yeah, yesterday we got to this section. We built out these semicircles. So as you can see here, we built out the semicircles and we added some images inside of the semicircle. And then we'll add the how it works content here on the right. So let's go ahead and continue with that. So in this section we have a heading. So I'll hit Command H and add a heading, and we'll make it an H2 heading. And I'll just type in here how it works. I don't think we need a question mark. That's kind of a little bit strange. And then I'll add a paragraph, and that looks good. So we have the how it works paragraph, and using the client first system again to add margin, we want to place elements in parent elements and then add the margin to the parent element. So here I'll add a div block and place the H2 heading inside this div block, and I'll just add some margin to the bottom. So I'll type in margin bottom, and we'll do margin medium, or maybe margin small. Okay, so we have how it works, and then let me copy this text from Figma. Hey Manuel, it's going good. Yeah, I'll go over your website after today's build, but I will definitely check it out. I got the email, by the way. So we'll put the paragraph text in there. That looks good. And then we have a list. So let's go into the navigator and let's take a look here. So we have the how it works content right section. And then in here, we want to add kind of another component. So it's going to be, we'll add a div block, and I'll call this how it works underscore list. And in here we'll add a div block, and I'll say how it works underscore list dash item. Or I could just type in item. So let's see. Yeah, it would be under classes, or the mindset maybe. Under keywords, let's see what they recommend. Okay, so they just recommend item. So let's just do that. Okay, list item, or item. So how it works list, how it works item. And in here we have this left text block, and then we have a div block here on the right. So I'm gonna add another div block in here. Yeah, let's do it this way, div block, and I'm gonna call this, or actually, let's add a text block in here. So how it works, I'm gonna add a text block, and we'll call this how it works item left. And then we'll add a div block, and I'll say how it works item right. And then to the how it works item, we'll set it to flex. And that's it. Cool. So then for this text, I'm just going to type in 01. And for this text block, I'm going to say flex center center. And we're going to have to add a custom class to this, or kind of customize this a specific way. So it's got to be a lot larger, and it's got to be extra bold, I'm going to guess, or even black. And I'm going to say 4 rem, maybe 6, and just make it bold, maybe 5 rem. That looks good. And give it some letter spacing. Maybe 3. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Nice. And then we will add a text block in here. So let me see. So we'll add a text block, and we'll say how it works list, or item dash heading, item heading. And then we will just type in submit here, and I will yeah, system UI, set it to bold, and that's it. Cool. I think that's a good size. Or maybe I'll set it to maybe 2 rems. No, that's too big. 1.2 rems. Yeah, that might work. And then we'll add a text block in here, another text block. And this will just be this text here. Okay, so we have the text block, that looks good. And actually for this number, we're not going to center it. We're going to align it to the top. How it works item left. Huh. Oh, I guess it doesn't make much of a difference there. So maybe the line height, I'll set it to 1. It doesn't really make much of a difference. To this paragraph, I'm going to place it in a div block. and something like this, and then say margin bottom, and we'll do margin medium. That looks good. Then to this how it works item left, I'll put it in a div block. And I'll say margin right. We'll do margin medium. Maybe margin small. Okay, and then for this heading, place it in a div block. Oops. And we'll say margin bottom, do margin small. Let's do margin extra small. Okay, that looks good. I want this number to be more at the top, so let's set the line height to 1. This needs more margin bottom. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, that'll work. That looks pretty good. Cool. So now I'll copy this how it works item 3 times, and we'll place each inside of a div block. So let me just delete these first 2. I'll place this one in here. I'll say margin bottom, and we'll do margin medium. Okay, then I'll copy that. Nice. That looks pretty good. I might move this up like with negative margin, just so it's a little bit, it matches. Yeah, I want it to be aligned with the top of the submit. So I kind of have to eyeball it there a little bit. So we'll say 02, 03. And we need more margin to this. So margin right, let's do margin medium. All right. Margin medium. And that doesn't look great. Margin medium. Oh, okay, I see. Margin right. Margin medium. Yeah, he's definitely spazzing out down there. Sorry about that, everyone. He probably just sees like a bike outside. This isn't aligned here, so I'm not quite feeling that. Margin right. Oh, The joys of having a dog, huh? Okay, so 10, 10. Yeah, this isn't really aligned here. I don't quite like that. You know what? I might just use grid for this. So let's see. So for this list, the how it works list, let me set it to grid. And we'll do no gap for now. And we'll say 2 columns and 3 rows. Okay. Cool. And then we will, let's see here. So this will go in here. Let's see. So margin right. All right, so let me undo all of this. Here, I'm gonna delete how it works list, margin bottom. Okay, I'm gonna delete these two, and I'm gonna remove this from the margin bottom. Gonna take this out, delete the margin right. Okay, so we just have those two. All right, so I'm gonna take this, place it in here. Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna copy item, how it works item. This goes in here. Okay, cool. Yeah, that works. And then I'll copy and paste this. Then I'll copy and paste this. Copy and paste this. All right, cool. That's a bit better. So everything's aligned. That looks good. And then I'll just move things in like this. Okay, grid was definitely much better to use here. So 1, 2, 3. And that way with grid, I can set the spacing with grid and I don't have to worry about the margin stuff. So for the rows, let's give it a gap of, I guess we would use rems for this too. So 2 rem. Great, that's looking good. Yeah, I like that. All right, cool. And I'll just, yeah, give this height of 1. Yeah, I'll just move it up a little bit. Okay, yeah, that looks good. I'm not gonna spend too much more time on that. So submit, execute, and pay. Yeah, he's spazzing down there. Apologies if you hear that, everyone. Copy this and paste. Okay, cool. So that section is done. And let me give it a little bit less spacing here. Maybe 0.4. Yeah, I like that. And maybe a bit more. 2.5 rem. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm okay with that. And I might add some more margin to the bottom of this paragraph. So I would say margin large. Okay. Cool. And then on mobile, I would say how it works, content wrapper. I would say vertical. And then this, I would say 100%. And center this. And this, I would do the same. I would say 100%. I might do like 50% because it's a list. I'll leave it at 60, and then I would say auto to center it. And for the content left, I'll just add some margin to the bottom, like 2 rems or 3. Cool. Something like that. All right. Yeah, so we're done with that section. This here, I'd probably wrap it and center it. Okay. Yeah. So far it's coming along. Yeah, I would work with this here. Maybe this number would be a lot smaller, maybe 2 rems. And this block would be 100%. Yeah, I would work a bit on this on mobile. These blocks would definitely be smaller. So I would make this half the size, like 200 by 400. And this would be 100 by 200. And then for the radius, I would say 400 and 400. And 200 and 200. Something like that. I might even make these smaller. But yeah, let's move on to the next section. And let's see. So we have our portfolio section. So this should be fun. This is just a grid of images. So let's go and add that section. One sec, everyone. I'm just going to close my door real quick. All right, that probably would have helped with the barking. Okay, cool. Hi, David. Hello. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and add a section. Yeah, we're continuing with the client first system. I'm going to call this section dash. Hey, Surav. Hello. Section dash portfolio. And we'll add the padding, div block. We'll say padding extra large. We'll add a container and we'll say container large. Is that what I'm using? Yeah, container large. And then in here, we're going to add a div block and we're going to call this portfolio underscore grid. Portfolio grid. Cool. So this is going to be a 2 by 1, 2 say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 2 by 7. Let's see how that works. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Alexa. Appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, hopefully you're picking up a few things and it's helpful. Yeah, just experimenting with client first. It's not normally how I build, but just trying it out. From FinSuite live stream to John, what a productive evening. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I didn't see the FinSuite stream, but I'm sure it was good. Cool. Did they talk about client first? I'm sure they probably did. Cool. So I'm gonna apply grid to this, and we're gonna do 7 columns and 2 rows. Cool. And the gap is okay. For now, I'm gonna set the height to, let's see here what the height is. About 600. We'll do 600 pixels. And actually, before I do that, we want to add a heading here. It's going to be an H2 heading. Add it to the top. And let's see, what did I do with this? Okay, yeah. So we have the heading, and we'll call this portfolio heading. Which marketplace best of Webflow work? I would go to the template marketplace. I think that's the only Webflow marketplace available at the moment. This would be an H1 heading. Okay, cool. And I would wrap this in a div and give it margin bottom. What did I do for this one? These are all a bit different. Margin medium. Margin. Yeah, it is interesting. I'm yet to decide how I feel about it. So I'm just gonna download a few images from Unsplash. And let's make them one color, abstract blue. Let's see if we can get one color going. Yeah, that'll be cool. So download, oops. Download. Unsplash is amazing, isn't it? So many free images. And they're just like, they're all good quality too. That's what amazes me. They're all like super interesting. Download, 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 and download. Okay, that should be enough. Okay, let me just grab these, open with, preview. Select them all, adjust the size. I'll make them 1500 pixels in width. Yeah, let me know what you think about the spacing. I have my own kind of ideas about it, just because I'm used to building a certain way. It is a bit more, I guess, work in a way. After you get used to it, it's kind of like, okay, this is how you know it works. But I did find it to be, or I'm still finding it to be a kind of a bit much. All right, so we have the portfolio grid. So let's add a div block, and this will be a portfolio underscore item. And I'll just drag this here. Just missing the 24 pixel. What do you mean by that, David? I'll add another div. This will span 3 divs. .5 rem. Do you mean the spacing here? No. Oh. Okay. Did I use 24 in this? I'm not sure if I did. Portfolio underscore item div, and then another div, portfolio underscore item, and then this one will be div, and I'll drag this across these, say portfolio underscore item. Then I'll add another div. You can't see this because it's gray, but here, let me make this a bit easier to see. There we go. So I'm just designing this section here from this Figma file. And that looks good. And then div, let's see, portfolio. So I'm using the client first class naming convention, which is you have the keyword, which is usually related to the section, and then you do an underscore to describe it even further. So I'm just calling these grid cells items. And client first spacing 24 pixels. Gotcha. Yeah, everything is kind of rems. Yeah, portfolio. I think material design uses 24, right? Portfolio item. Okay, there we go. So we have that grid, this grid here. We just created it. So what I'll do is just add those images that I got from Unsplash. And you know what? This site is about interior design. So let's find interior design images. So this will be a little bit more in theme of what the site is about. Yeah, it might be a bit much because all these images are a bit different, so we'll see how it looks. $16.32, okay, gotcha. All right, so let's make sure these are saved. Taking a while to save. Okay, let me go into Webflow. I'm hoping it's saved. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll use these. Let me drag these last two in. I'm not sure where. Here we go. Okay, these aren't working right. All right, I'll just continue. So portfolio item, and we'll add the background. Set it to cover. That's cool. And I'll center it. Nice. And let me add a border radius to, I think it has a border radius of 8 to the portfolio item. Oh, my computer's lagging a bit. Okay. No, don't do it during the live stream. Okay. Let's say 8. All right, and then we just have to go to each portfolio item and give it a combo class, and then we can change. Why is my computer lagging? That's no fun. Okay, we can change the background. Choose image, I'll choose this one. Okay. And my computer is being a bit weird, so sorry about that, everyone. 3. I think it has to do with the images. Say 4. Okay, then this will be 5. Here, let me try refreshing Webflow. Okay. No, it still didn't help. Maybe the images I imported are too large or something. Yeah, so they didn't resize. Okay. Yo, finally able to watch one of these live. Thanks for doing these. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. I just went to Webflow to support and see your photo there. Ironically, can I ask you a quick question? Yeah. For sure. Oh yeah, my photo, my images in support. That's cool. Choose image. Let's do this one. All right, cool. So that took a while. I think the images are kind of big, but we finished with this section. We created a grid of images. It's very nice and cool. So it's a cool kind of design style to create a grid of images like this. You can do it with grid and just span div blocks across the different grid cells. So yeah, there's quite a bit of design elements to this Figma file, which I find very cool. So yeah, that's it for today. We're getting there. These images are too large, so it's kind of making things a bit slow, so I'll have to replace these images for tomorrow. And we definitely want more spacing for this margin bottom. So I'm gonna say margin large. Or maybe even margin extra large. And this should definitely, yeah, this should be an H2, not an H1. There we go. Very nice. So that is it for today's build. I'll kind of just review what we did. Yeah, I'll replace these images. They need to be smaller. Cool. So yeah, let me recap what we did. We built the how it works section. We added this list with list items. So if we look at the navigator, we have the section how it works. We have the padding. In the padding, we have the container large. Then we have the component, the how it works content wrapper. We have the content left with the semicircles and the content right, which we did today. We added the heading, placed the heading in a parent element and added margin to the bottom. We have the paragraph, added margin to the bottom with the parent element, and we added a grid, a list with, a grid element to create this list. We added the numbers to the left and the content to the right. So left, right, so we created a 2x3 grid. And then we used the gap in here to create the spacing. And then we created the portfolio section with padding extra large, container, margin bottom, and let me close my window. A lot of noise today, sorry about this everyone. Let me just mute this here. Okay, let's get back to it. All right, so then we added the heading, margin, placed it in a div, margin bottom, created a portfolio grid. And one thing we can do instead of using pixels for the gap, we can say, so 16 pixels, so it would be 1 rem. Instead of 16 pixels, we just say 1 rem and 1 rem just to keep it consistent, which is the same thing as 16 pixels, and that's it. All right, and for tomorrow, I'll be kind of replacing these images with compressed images so it doesn't bog down the site. All right, so yeah, that was today's build. It was fun. So Nick wrote, I have a project with a CMS plan, but I forgot to start with the client first clonable. Is there a way to bring client first into the project I've started? It's blank. There is, yeah, Nick. What I would do is let's see if this works actually. Let's go into Webflow. And I'm gonna get to Manuel's question or website in a second too. Yeah, so let's see here. So let me start a new project. So I think what you can do, Nick, is I have this blank project here. You can, let's get the client first clonable. And I'll clone it. And what you can do is go into the style guide and copy this style guide component. So hit Command C to copy it. Go to your blank project and paste it. And I think you should have all the styles. Yeah, it looks like all the styles got copied over. And then you can, you could leave the style guide. What I would do actually is just create a new page called client first style guide and save it. And we have that. And then I would create a new page. I would say home, create, and then I would select the home page and then click this button here, make home your home page. And then we have to rename this client first style guide and save. Okay, so this is the style guide, or you could just create a new page first and then paste the style guide so you don't have to do that weird thing I did with making the home page different. But that's it. And then you can go in and restyle your headings. You want to restyle the global headings, so you would select all H1s, but oh, wait a second, so maybe, there's another thing we need to do. So there's this global styles. I think you need to copy this over as well. Let's go to the home page. Let me paste that in there. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is gonna work perfectly, Nick, because I'm starting to see. Oh wait, let's see. Let me go in here. Something's missing. Oh, style guide classes. I guess I would have to copy this over, maybe. Because the units are not in rem, which has me a little bit confused. You see here, the paragraphs is in 14 pixels. That's in rem. Yeah, the global classes are not styled. So actually, Nick, what I would do just to make sure it works correctly is I would just reach out to support and ask them to transfer your site plan to your new project. So I would clone the client first project and then, write down the name of this new project, like the subdomain and the title of the project, and then reach out to support and ask them to transfer the site plan to your new project. Yeah, it is, but you have to reach out to support for them for you to be able to do that. Users can't do that manually. You can't transfer a site plan on your end. You have to reach out to support, and then support can do it for you. I've done it many times when I was working at Webflow. So I hope that helps. The only reason I don't recommend this is because I can see that the global classes are not styled in rem. So I'm guessing client first did that, like they did it in their project first, and then yeah, you can see all H1 headings is for rem, and the line height is a specific line height. Cool. Yeah, definitely, Nick, for sure. Yeah, my face is in support. Webflow support. Yeah, I definitely had a good time working there. I just wanted to give more attention to my my YouTube channel. Yeah, that's me right there. And we got these great people. Yeah, Lily and God, I'm horrible with names. It'll come to me. Yeah, she's in Australia, and I've talked to her many times, and I've enjoyed talking to her a lot. Anywho, yeah, as I'm talking, her name will come to me. Oh, I just had it. Dang it. Okay. Let's see. And that's nothing against any. I'm probably the worst person with names. Like, you'll tell me your name, and then the next second I'll be like, what was her name? Like, I don't know, it's something with me. Cool. So let's go to Manuel's project. Amy. Yes, thank God. Okay, yes. Amy and Lily, and that's me. Okay, cool. All right, let's go to Manuel. He sent me an email yesterday, and let's take a look. Oh, that's probably while my dog was barking. I just see that an Amazon delivery came through. So the delivery guy was probably at the door, and he went crazy. All right, so let's see. All right, so we're gonna review Manuel's site. Oh wow, I'm already digging it. So Manuel, a little bit risque with this image here. Risque, is that the word? Purpose meets beauty for good. Authentic branding and next level websites for individuals and individualists. Nice. Neek Studio. Ooh, cool. We have the slider. All right, so yeah, this is cool. Nice slider. One thing I'm not a fan of, Manuel, is full section scrolling automatically. I see that they call it kind of like scroll jacking, where I don't have full control of my mouse, because when I scroll a little bit, the website moves. And that's just me personally. I don't like when websites do that. Like, I like to be able to scroll and see the content as I'm scrolling. But I can see here that, you're probably using full page JS for your site. Yeah, full page JS. So yeah, it's just a personal preference. I don't particularly like, that type of scrolling, but that's just my personal take. Yeah, it's not bad. I don't see much design cohesion or branding behind it. There's nothing. Let me see here. Oh, that's cool. Let me see. Yeah, those circles are cool. Let's see if I click learn more. It takes me to another page, services page. Yeah, this text isn't the easiest to read, and this is really small. I would work on the hierarchy of like, where do you want the user's eye to go? And this text is pretty wide, so I'd have to read from left to right kind of a lot. Like, as I'm reading, I want things to be succinct. Like, so the width of paragraphs, I wouldn't want them necessarily to be this long. This isn't bad actually, but I might make it just a little bit smaller, the width of the paragraphs. And I might make these tags a bit bigger. And yeah, and I might add more line height here or something. It just feels like everything's a bit too condensed. And I would want like more spacing for this content to be able to digest this content a bit better. And this is so small that I kind of skip it over. Like, these tags, I don't really read it. And especially this here, like, we have these tags and then this is outside of the tag. I'm not going to really bother reading this. It doesn't feel important. So I just feel like maybe more color, more design, more branding behind this, because it's just like black and white text with some colored underlines, which isn't really telling me much. And then this says Steve Jobs. I don't know what that means. I know he was at Apple. So yeah, let's see. The menu's cool. What's Lear process? Yeah, we have the full page scrolling again. Yeah, that's nice actually. I kind of like these interactions. Yeah, that's clever. That's clever. I would like to see this in a more branded space. Like, this type of effect really shines in a way, but as far as like the content, I feel it could be, more engaging, right? Because again, I'm just reading black and white text, and I feel like there could be more illustration or more color or something to tell a story. Like, when I'm just looking at this, it doesn't tell a full story to me, because I'm just going through and reading text, if that makes sense. Maybe more images or something. This is great. Yeah, it's a cool effect. Yeah, this part's nice, right? Because you don't need much for an about page. Yeah, maybe I would just add more line height, or try to make the text a little bit more readable. It just feels like there's a lot of text I'd have to read, and it doesn't feel fully digestible, because maybe it's the line height, maybe it's the width of the text, something about it. Like, I want it to be a bit more condensed, where I can just digest the information very quickly. And then we have all this text down here. Again, it's very small, so I might have the tendency to skip it over, or like, yeah, I would read this because it's the about section and it's cool. But yeah, I would work, yeah, maybe like letter spacing and width of the text. Contact. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. This circle and this text isn't aligned within the circle. Yeah, so I'm seeing a circle theme now. I would want that to be more pronounced throughout the site. If it's a circle theme, like, I want to see like more circles. to really get the idea that you're communicating that circle idea. Here I'm not getting, like, I get it here, but then this text is, outside of the circle, or like not perfectly in. So I would just work on that, and it doesn't feel perfectly centered in the circle. And then there's some spacing issue here, and the menu, I don't know what's happening there. But right down here, please understand that I won't handle more than 3 projects at a time. There's spacing here that looks a bit off. Yeah, so, and this contact is an overlay. It's not an actual page. Okay, I see. So that's a little confusing. So when I go to contact, it's just an overlay, and I close it. So yeah. Okay, so I see the circle here. Now I'm starting to recognize the circle a bit more. Yeah, we have the circle there. Yeah, I think you could really play with the circle idea a bit better, because right here, again, like, this image isn't in a circle. And I would probably work on these slider, previous, and next arrows and make those circles, or like a circle with a border circle around it, just to emphasize that circle idea a bit more. I'd probably put these images in circles. You see it, we have the circle there. Like, this is a good job of putting this in. Yeah, I would play off this idea here and this effect, Manuel, and try to brand the site around that, and just work on the letter spacing, like the width of the text. I think, what is it, 42, or between 42 and 72, something like that, characters is a good width to have. And then some of these tags are just super small. Right here where it says website and marketing materials. On this larger screen, it's very small. Like, so if I go to Sizzy, let me just take a look and look at a medium laptop. Yeah, the text is too small. I'm looking at a small laptop. Yeah, the text looks better on a small laptop. It's a bit bigger, but on a larger screen, that text is very small for these tags. Yeah, so hopefully that helps, Manuel. I would also maybe try to find a primary and secondary color. So I would start with a style guide, to be honest. Like, type in Webflow style guide clonable, and style guide template, and just go try to find a template that you like, right? So this one's maybe not bad, by Oil Timus. So he has some colors: primary color, secondary color, other colors, H1 through H6, paragraphs, text. Or if you like the client first system, it comes with a style guide, and have some buttons that you styled and things like that. So a style guide just gives you a good base for what your colors will be, and then you don't have to really think about it as you're building your site. So, because I didn't notice, like, to me the colors aren't obvious. Yeah, there's maybe gold and blue, but it's not prevalent throughout the site, and I don't really get those colors coming out to me. It's more black and white with a few colors here and there. Here's another style guide by Ryan. He's actually the designer for Webflow. So yeah, this is a perfect style guide, right? Simple, just what you need. There's another one, Webflow style guide starter. And let's see if it loads here. This is by Nicolabain. Look at this. This is very nice. Colors, yeah. Buttons, columns, grids, spacers, text boxes. Yeah, so I guess in client first, that idea of adding margin is kind of like spacers in a way, I would think, yeah. text boxes, icons, forms, and tabs. Yeah, this is a pretty robust style guide. So yeah, it's called Starter by Nico Lebain from Wellington, New Zealand. And he has a blog too. Let's check it out. Yeah, create consistency across your Webflow site with a design system. Yeah, this might be a good read. It's looking good. All right, so I think that's it for me. Thanks everyone. Definitely, yeah, check out, you want to make sure you start with the style guide to create consistency across your site. And it's not bad, Manuel. I definitely think it needs more design to it, to make it a bit more cohesive and to communicate your projects a bit more and in a way that's easily digestible and yeah, kind of a bit better as far as like, how wide the text is and how the information is structured. Yeah, and I'm not a fan of full page JS, so I don't know. If you like it, you can leave it, but that's just my personal take. All right, so yeah, thanks for sharing that. Very cool. Yeah, and I think for tomorrow, let me go into Webflow here, into this site. Yeah, those images are so large, it slows down the site. For tomorrow, might be the last day I spend on client first. So I might work on this section and maybe one more section, maybe these 2 sections tomorrow. I don't want to keep harping on client first. I think we've learned a lot in the past few streams, and yeah, it's been a fun process to go through to kind of learn the system. But after maybe tomorrow, I might just go back to how I like, naming elements. And if I find that client first is still in the back of my mind, like, oh, this would be a good system to use or something, I might use it. But I don't see myself using it at this point because I kind of like my own styling system. All right, everyone. Yeah, thanks for joining again. It is 1:00. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for spending the time with me as I built the site and we covered different Webflow topics. Thanks, Nick, for joining, and hopefully they get your site plan transferred quickly. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Thank you. Peace.